to that table right there on the side with Yusuf raising his hand. So if you're an elected official and you haven't registered yet, feel free to go check in. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon you all. We're going to be starting very shortly in a moment, so if everybody can make your way to your seats. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. I begin with the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praise belongs to God, and I send salutations upon His messenger, Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. We're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you're comfortable, feel free to rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm sure there's better plans that some of you might have had than to be here listening to some politicians talk. But we made it, alhamdulillah. My name is Ali Allam. I'm currently a junior at the University of Michigan. I'm studying political science and information analysis. I've been involved with various community organizations, including the Civic Engagement Committee here at the Muslim Unity Center. And I'd like to welcome you all, whether you're regulars or politicians who are coming, seeking elected office, hoping to earn our community's support. Welcome to the Muslim Unity Center, and we appreciate you all coming out to really tell us about your platforms and what you stand for and the offices that you seek to hold. In the Pledge of Allegiance we just said, it says liberty and justice for all. And that's an ideal that oftentimes this nation hasn't completely held up to. And even though we haven't held up to it, we hold it as something very dear to us, something that we strive towards. And we've seen this failure, especially this year, seeing the various events that have unfolded in our state, locally, and across the world. The genocide in Gaza has taken the lives of over 40,000 Palestinians, people living under Israeli occupation who've been murdered at the hands of the regime. And this has had ramifications across the globe. Here in our state, we've had universities. At my university set up an encampment, for example, which was raided by the Michigan State Police. And we've also seen hate crimes across the nation, rise of Islamophobic, anti-Palestinian, anti-Arab sentiment that has targeted our community. And so for us, this event today holds particular significance because it's an opportunity for us to reclaim that ideal, to reclaim the ideal of liberty and justice truly for all. And that includes Muslims, that includes Palestinians who are living under occupation. And so thank you again to the candidates who've come out. We look forward to hearing from you, and we look forward to seeing how the event plays out, inshallah. A quick rundown. We're going to begin in a few moments with our beloved Sheikh Abdullah, giving us a summary of the importance of civic engagement in our faith. We're going to move on from there with the first race of the U.S. House, District 2. And then we're going to take a break for networking, mingling. We want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to really talk to the candidates face-to-face, ask personal questions, things like that. And then from there, we're going to move on to Bloomfield Township, District 2. From there, we're going to move on to the ballot proposal, one of the ballot proposals, which some of you will be voting on. And then the West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, the West Bloomfield Township Board, the Oakland County Commissioner for District 3, and then the U.S. Senate. And then we'll be closing off with some more proposals and some reminders on the importance of engaging in this process. And so without further ado, I'd like to invite up our beloved, Brother Hadi first to give us a rundown on the importance of what we're doing here today.
So good evening, everyone. We begin tonight with a simple greeting, Salaam Alaikum, which is peace be upon you. My name is Hadi Muhammad, West Bloomfield resident, US District 11. And I'm a member of the board of directors at the Muslim Unity Center and lead the Civic Engagement Committee. On behalf of the Muslim Unity Center, I welcome you all to tonight's Meet the Candidates event in preparation for the upcoming primaries on August 6th, very important date. Tonight we have amongst us candidates vying for seats in multiple races, including the U.S. House District 11, U.S. Senate, local races for Bloomfield Hills and West Bloomfield Townships, and the Oakland County Commissioner race, including, and we also have, thank you for dropping in, but we also have the Michigan House District 54 being represented today. We look forward to tonight's interaction with the candidates and are hoping for a respectful and open dialogue with the community to understand what concerns us, and Ali Alam just mentioned a few important things there. What concerns us, the constituents who represent an engaged, diverse, and vibrant community. A quick history on the Muslim Unity Center. The center has been around for more than 30 years. Established in 1993 and has been an inspiring and exemplary house of worship for Muslim residents of Bloomfield Hills, West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Pontiac, Birmingham, and Rochester Hills, to name a few. The community represents business owners and professionals alike, including physicians, engineers, lawyers, and artists, with students attending the surrounding school districts and private schools alike. The next generation of these residents, the ones who are soon to be voters, are right now pursuing higher education in Michigan universities, as well as the Ivy League and the US top 10 universities. Men and women, especially women and men, in the community are highly educated, accomplished, and passionately running several nonprofit organizations and giving back to those who are less fortunate. The Muslim Unity Center residents are very engaged and partner or volunteer with multiple grassroots organizations, including a few that are present today. APIA Vote and Amin. We have APIA Vote at the back there running voter registration. APIA Vote is Asian and Pacific Islander American Vote, and Amin is American Muslim Education and Empowerment Network. Lastly, this event is nonpartisan, and the Muslim Unity Center and the participating organizations today do not endorse any particular political candidate or party. With that said, I would like to once again say welcome to all of you and give the mic to our respected and beloved Imam Sheikh Abdullah Al-Mahmoudi, who will share a few key points on our obligation to vote. Good luck to all of you.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala. I greet you with the greeting of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Which translates to, may the peace and mercy of God be upon you all. I'd like to thank everyone for attending tonight, for playing your part in our community, for a better tomorrow. And those who are running, those who are candidates, I also want to acknowledge you all, thank you all for coming tonight and for working for a better tomorrow. We draw inspiration from the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, throughout our lives. For each and every moment of our life, we're taught to draw inspiration from the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet Muhammad, prior to prophethood, this is about 25 years prior to his prophethood, there was a particular incident that happened. There was a man who came from Yemen, from a tribe which was referred to as a tribe of Zubayd. This tribe was not an affluent tribe. They were not extremely educated. They didn't have much wealth, nor did they have strong family ties. And these were the things that differentiated a person in society at that time. So this man traveled all the way from Yemen to Mecca to perform pilgrimage, to perform Hajj. And what the common practice was that you would bring your goods from your native land, Even if you're in the village, you would bring your goods to the city and you would trade to finance your journey. And the goods that you trade with, you would bring them back all the way to your locality and you would trade those to last you for the remainder of the year. And this was a common practice. So as this man is traveling to Mecca, on the outskirts of the city of Mecca, he meets an individual by the name of As bin Wa'il. He was the father of Amr bin As radiyallahu anhu. As bin Wa'il was a politician. He was one of the chiefs of Mecca, and he was extremely affluent, and he was known for his business dealings. So he looks at this young man and he says that, listen, instead of you going from stall to stall, going from person to person, asking them and marketing yourself and marketing your goods, and trading one thing today, maybe two things tomorrow, and perhaps it's going to take you 6-7 weeks to trade all of your goods, I'll buy everything from you as bulk, wholesale price. But the catch is, on your way back, you go to Mecca, you perform your pilgrimage, you even trade and buy whatever you need to buy. But just tell them I'll pay you before I leave back to Yemen. I'd leave back to my hometown. And before you have to leave, give me a day or two, let me know, I'll arrange the payment for you, and you can pay off your debts, and you can gather your goods, and you can return back home. Very simple, very amazing opportunity that he was presented with. He said, of course, I can go perform my pilgrimage. I don't have to worry about my wealth and my goods. I can perform my pilgrimage and I'll return. He buys a lot. He tells them exactly this, that I'll pay you later at a later date. After his pilgrimage, he goes to this man, As bin Wa'il. And he says that, listen, you promised me my wealth. I'm about to leave next week. Please pay me. I need to pay off my debtors. He looks at him and he says, you know what? Come tomorrow. Come tomorrow. This man, he knows nobody else in Mecca. He goes back and he comes back the next day. Can you pay me now? Come back tomorrow, please. I just got busy. I wasn't able to arrange the wealth. I wasn't able to arrange the payment. Just come back tomorrow. This continues happening for a few days until this man realizes, I'm being taken along for a ride. I'm never going to get paid. He has no family in Mecca. This man who is against him, this man is a chief of Mecca. He's a politician. Everybody knows him and nobody would dare stand against him because of the power that he has in society. And he belongs to a poor little tribe, has absolutely no wealth, has absolutely no dealings with the people of Mecca. Nobody will look twice at him. So he decides to do, he goes to the Kaaba, the big black box, and he calls everybody there. And this was their way of social media, of getting the word out. And he calls everybody and he says that, this is exactly what your chief did. And how can you consider yourselves to be righteous, to be morally upright, to be individuals who care about humans in society, and you cheat others? How can you stand for such a thing? This is exactly what your chief is doing. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, I remember the day where we gathered in the house and we all pledged our hands on a pact that there's no way, regardless of this man being our chief, regardless of him pulling the strings of society, there's no way we will let him take advantage of someone else. Not on our watch. There's absolutely no way we'll allow that to happen. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said that we agreed. One of us wrote an agreement. We went to the door of the Kaaba. And we didn't know, many of us did not know even how to sign our names. It was a society which was dominantly illiterate. They couldn't read, they couldn't write. So he said the way that we signed it, we dipped our hands in perfume, in oil. And we placed our hands on top of the pact, on top of the agreement. And we stapled it to the door of the Kaaba. And therefore, this pact became known as Hilf al-Mutayyibin or Hilf al-Fudul. The reason it was called Hilf al-Fudul was because this chief stood up and he said, why are you involving yourself in something which is fudul, which is useless? It's none of your business. I'm the politician, I'm the chief, I'm the businessman, I'm the powerhouse. How dare you say something about me? How dare you stand up against me? How dare you expect me to be better? And he said, this is something useless. And it became known as Hilf al-Fudul or Hilf al-Mutayyibin. And the Prophet Muhammad, many years later in Medina, he said, if I was given the opportunity, if somebody was to ask me that give up your spot in that treaty, in that agreement, in that pact of expecting people to do better, of holding people accountable, and they were to give me much wealth and many promises, I would never give up that spot. This is what it meant to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be a member of society, to be a member of the community who is involved, who wants better, who expects better, who demands better, and who puts in the work for something better. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to fulfill this responsibility of ours. Because wallahi, it's something which should not be taken lightly. Because it affects us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to what is right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all to what is right. Ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Imam Abdullah. So we're going to be shuffling up the order a little bit just based on the candidates who've arrived. So first we're going to begin with Bloomfield Township Supervisor. So that's Oscar Garner, Valerie Murray, as well as Mark Antockley. Sorry if I mispronounced. So you three can make your way up to the stage. And we have our two moderators who are going to be asking the questions, Nusayba and Yunus. They're going to walk you through sort of the structure. Essentially, you're going to get an opening statement, followed by two questions, followed by a closing statement. So you can make your way up now, and we can begin.
And as ways of introduction to the rules, you will have 2 minutes to introduce yourself, and I will be monitoring the time. I'll give you a 1-minute warning, yellow color, and when you have 30 seconds left, I will give you a 30-second warning. So you'll have a 2-minute intro, then we'll go back up to the stage. You'll be asked questions, 2 minutes each for responding, or 3 minutes each for responding to the questions, and then you'll have another 2 minutes to, if you'd like, for a closing statement. Thank you.
So just a quick correction, it's Bloomfield Township trustee, not supervisor. And Roman as well is here, so you can also make your way up, and we'll bring up another chair. All right, so we're going to begin with opening statements. You'll have 3 minutes to just tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're running the position, and just a summary of your platform and what you hope to accomplish. So we're going to start with, we'll go left to right. So Roman, correct? All right, you can begin. You have the floor for 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. My name is Roman Grigoriev. This is my first run for the Bloomfield Township trustee. I've lived in the township for about 20 years. Like I imagine many of you, I have been born and raised in the old world. I'm a software engineer by profession, And my primary goals for the township include security and stability. Specifically, I seek to crack down on property crime, and I want to strengthen the township infrastructure in the face of things like power outages. That's essentially it.
Perfect. So just word of caution, 2 minutes introduction, 3 minutes per question, and then 2 minutes closing. But you're perfect, bang on time. Please go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Valerie Murray. I have been your Bloomfield Township trustee since 2020. I am truly honored to have been given this opportunity to serve the residents. We have made some major changes in the township, which I found very important. We have always been, we are a partisan township. We have to declare party, but this was the first time in the history of the township we have a bipartisan board. We get along. We have improved transparency. A little bit about me. I'm graduated from MSU, born and raised in Detroit. I lived in the township since the mid-'80s, raised my 3 sons here. I have a communications degree. I also serve on a group called Preservation Bloomfield out at the farm, where we preserved 2 old structures, and we fundraise to keep them in the township. And I'm also on your election commission in Bloomfield Township, which has given me a greater opportunity to learn more and more about the election process, see the security. This has been an amazing learning experience. I value, time's up. No, 1 minute. Oh, 1 minute, okay. I value the opportunity, and what I found was I truly love being a part of the community. I love reaching out to residents. Feel free to call me, email me, meet me in person. Trustee Faki and I, unfortunately she's not running again, she and I invented something called office hours for trustees to make us more accessible. So every month prior to our second board meeting of the month, we sit at the library, and you're welcome, no appointment needed. Come on in, talk to a trustee. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me. My name is Oscar Garner, and I am I'm running for Bloomfield Township trustee. I have been a resident of Bloomfield Township for 18 years, and I raised my children in Bloomfield Township all the way from kindergarten all the way through. Both my sons graduated Bloomfield Hills High School. I am an engineer by trade, automotive engineer as well, quality engineer as well as quality professional. I have an extensive background when it comes to processes and implementing processes and procedures, and I've worked with some of the biggest clients that you would meet: Volkswagen, General Motors, Volvo, and one of the reasons why I decided to run for Bloomfield Township trustee, first and foremost, is diversity. And I have worked with a diverse background of people throughout my 30 years in the automotive industry. And I find it that I'm able to connect with the people. And to set differences aside and be able to get things accomplished, and I've been able to do that as a quality engineer in my career. So, and when I say I've worked with people, I mean when you say like I said, General Motors, different. I've been traveling as far as like Japanese, just everywhere as far as that's concerned. And I met Valerie with the I forget what the office hours as far as Bloomfield Township trustees, and that's what opened my eye to the opportunity to meet with trustees, get to know people, and also be a part of the community, dig deeper into bringing my services and bringing what I have to offer to Bloomfield Township. So thank you very much for having me again. Thank you.
People are slowly getting their coffee in, so you see more participation.
Assalamu alaikum. Ana ism Mark Kentucky. And I really want to thank you for hosting the event. And I wish that all of you had a wonderful Eid al-Adha holiday last week. My father is Syrian from Homs. He moved here for university. And it's nice to be in the culture. I really like the opening comments about responsible governance, and that's why I'm running for trustee. The trustees have to hold the department heads, the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer accountable for the decisions that they make. I don't believe the current trustees are doing that in an effective and appropriate manner. We all have our water bills. We all believe that they're very high. And this page here is from the township website. It's from their Munetrix data. So over a 3-year period, the township generated over $15 million of fund reserves for water and sewer. Yet nobody asks why the rates are still going up and why they're asking for more money. We produce the board packets and they never talk about the capital improvements, never. So I think it's very important for us to start asking those questions and holding our officials responsible for their actions and what they're doing. If we're not generating enough capital, yes, we should raise rates, but right now, I don't think we should, because we're generating too much money every year. And this is not the only example.
Your time's up, so we're going to move on to the next. It's 3 minutes, 2 minutes, correct? Time is up. Thank you. So you can keep the mic. We're gonna move from right to left, or we're just gonna move on to the next question. So if you'd like, you can continue what you were saying, but we're just gonna have them start with the first question.
Okay. The Bloomfield Township is home to a large and vibrant Muslim community. Some members of the community see the treatment of the needs and voices of our community as second class in light of certain unfoldings in the area. How do you plan to ensure that the voices of the Muslim community are heard and represented in local government decisions?
The nice thing about the United States is we are supposed to have freedom of religious expression. So in our government, there should be no religious expression, especially at the township level. We're not making county laws, federal laws, state laws. And even most recently, there was there was a document that was going to be presented to show solidarity with the state of Israel. And the only reason why it stopped and the document was presented in the public meeting was because of Stephanie Fakia. My father was born in the Middle East. I lived in Dubai and Syria for about 14 years combined. I understand your background and I understand what's happening politically in the region, and I see it exploding here. And it's not right. This is not our American value. Freedom of religion means we keep religion out of our township politics. If it wasn't for Stephanie Fakia, who said no and put her foot down, it would not have happened. Thank you.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
The Bloomfield Township is home to a large and vibrant Muslim community. Some members of the community see the treatment of the needs and voices of our community as second class in light of certain unfoldings in the area. How do you plan to ensure that the voices of the Muslim community are heard and represented in local government decisions?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to meet and make sure that you have your voices heard by getting to know the people of my community. I think you have to get to know the people of the community and what their concerns are and be able to speak directly to their concerns at the government level. And at that particular point, we can go from there, so to speak, kind of take that initiative, take whatever initiatives or concerns you have, and take those to the board, or at least include those concerns to the board when there's a meeting or what have you, just to be able to make sure that everyone is heard. I think that diversity is very, very key throughout government. I do see that the township that has the potential to increase the concerns of the diversity as well as on the board, as well as in other areas as far as public service, as far as Bloomfield Township is concerned.
Thank you for the question. So one of the things I like to do is come to events like this to embrace all of our community members. I have an open policy. We are welcoming residents at any meeting. You can come in, you can make yourselves heard. You have a 3-minute public comment at all meetings. I think that in general, religion and politics should be two separate things, but where you're going to talk to one voice, you hear them all. And as a person that was raised, oddly enough, as a minority, I grew up in Oak Park, and I was raised as a minority because it was a Jewish community when I grew up, and I was a little Christian girl, and I was a novelty. And I came up through working at our local area mall. I was a minority. It wasn't until I got to MSU, and I said, well, why do you not accept these other people? So I was raised in a unique situation, I think, and I think it's benefited me. It's part of the reason why we live in the part of the township where we do, where my kids attended a multicultural school. They don't see color, race, religion. Personally, I'm not a religious person. I respect everyone's religion, everyone's opportunity to have their beliefs be heard and be respected. And if there's ever an issue at the township, I would want any of you to reach out to me personally. And that's one of the things I love to do, is represent the residents and make sure that I can get you the information, the clarification, or I will speak out to correct an issue if I believe that it is unjust. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to thank you for the question. And the way for me to answer would be that the best approach the government can take towards religious groups, any religious groups, is neglect. And the reason I say that is because if the government starts listening to any particular religious group, they will have, your voices will be drowned by the voices of majority. That is not something that I imagine you would want to see happen. So if you come as citizens, you will be given equal opportunity as anybody else. Coming as Muslims would be counterproductive. For you, it would be counterproductive for the government. That's all I have to say.
All right, on to our next question. So the Muslim Unity Center has been an integral part of the Bloomfield Hills community for more than 30 years and has contributed significantly towards the diversity of the community and fostering essential dialogue. Recently, however, the community has been experiencing harassment from neighbors and seemingly endorsed by certain township public officials. Could you outline the measures you will take to stop this type of behavior and ensure equitable and inclusive treatment of your constituents from all backgrounds?
My first question would be, what laws have been broken? If a law has been broken, I will involve the police. If it's a matter of somebody expressing an opinion, this is a free country. We have to respect freedom of speech, even if we don't like what we hear.
Well, I would welcome talking to you if you are being harassed by anyone in the township. I am totally open-minded. One of the things I did not touch on the last question was the importance of diversity. It is a conversation Oscar and I have both had. I believe, since I've been on the township board, that we need more diversity in our police force, in our fire department, across the board, including the board of directors. And diversity means everyone. Stephanie Faki was a nice change for us. I mean, a Lebanese woman on our board. She and I are particularly close, and I was encouraging her to stay with us. She had some other issues she needed to attend with. She chose not to run again. She has been a phenomenal member of our board. She will be greatly missed. But if there is something that's been handled inappropriately in any way, whether it's race, religion, I would welcome you bringing it to the board or bring it to me personally, and I will research that and find out what went wrong. Thank you.
Well, As Val said, I'm a big proponent for diversity. When I moved to Bloomfield Township in 2006, at the time there were very few African Americans in Bloomfield Township. And my oldest son went through school with maybe like a handful of children. And there was some concerns for me as a parent being in Bloomfield Township at that time for my child as far as school is concerned, because I didn't think that the teachers understood how to teach black children at that time, African American children. And I say that to say that I was called to the school quite a bit, but in that time I was able to talk to the teachers and administrators. We came together and I got them to understand the challenges that maybe they were seeing as far as my son is concerned. And I say that to say that what I would do is bring people together. I want to talk. Let's have an open conversation, an open discussion. Let's find out what the differences are, what the challenges may be, because ultimately the challenges that we face are, for the most part, are generally just somewhat just ignorance between the differences of people, but we're more so alike than we are apart. And that's what people have to understand. So my goal would be to bring people together so we can get an understanding as to why people feel the need to do what they do, and maybe even give them some education as to why what they're doing is not correct, and maybe we can solve the issue in that manner. Thank you.
Every case is going to be different. And I think the number one challenge is, are both sides being respectful to each other? If they're being respectful, they listen and they understand concerns, a lot of things can be resolved. A lot of times, the dispute is more of a lack of understanding than anything else. And when calmer heads prevail, the waters can become calm again. Too often, we think it's Christmas time. It's okay if I park wherever I want. Everyone's busy, the roads are full, but not a lot of individuals understand Ramadan, understand the Eid holidays, how they work, understand the timing of the events. And those are unusual characteristics that we are not familiar with. Most people are not familiar with in the United States. Having lived in the Middle East, I am. And I think I can bridge some of that gap where I can relate to what I understand regarding about your concerns and your holiday concerns, and relating it to what they're asking for their events and when they have their feasts and holidays. And I think that building that bridge of understanding will help alleviate a lot of concerns between different groups. I think the open door policy that Val stated is excellent. And I think doing that and just being able to listen might not happen exactly as quickly as we want sometimes, but finding a time and a place to talk goes a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. I think a round of applause for our candidates here at this point. So you have 2 minutes for closing statements. We had 2 questions for all of you. Thank you very much for answering them. If you'd like, you have the podium for 2 minutes as closing statements. In no particular order, anyone can step up.
Thank you. It would not be an understatement to say that this election is important. And it's not really about me or people at the county or state level or even national level. This election is much more about liberty than anything else. The reason I say that is It is clear at this point that Donald Trump is very likely to win the election. And if he does, on his coattails will come the Christian nationalists. I don't think I need to explain the danger of what is going to happen. There are some folks in Louisiana that are advocating for suspending the writ of habeas corpus for Muslims specifically. There are echoes of the same thing now coming from some candidates in Florida. I'm not trying to scare you or be a fear-monger, but I have to say that there are consequences to voting, there are consequences to staying home, and this is about much more than me. So if you come to vote, and I would urge you to vote Democratic. Me or somebody else, doesn't matter. It is very important that you vote to protect yourself.
Clarification, right? This is 30-second warning, and this is 1-minute warning. Yellow, 1 minute, pink, 30 seconds.
I missed that last time. I just wanted to thank you all for this opportunity. I ran for office in 2020. It was a pandemic. I didn't know how to run for office in the first place. I never had political aspirations. But something was changing in the township under the current leadership. Money was being spent. Special assessment districts were coming up out of nowhere to pay bills that should have been paid over a decade or more earlier, and it was not being responsible. And so I started going to meetings, and when I went to meetings, what I found was they were very unfriendly to the residents. And as you know, living here, Bloomfield Township is all about the residents. We're 94 or 95% residential. So really, your residents should be your main focus, not treat them with disdain and unpleasantness when they come to speak their mind. And that's what all of you are welcome to do at any meeting. Right at the strike of 7, you can have 3 minutes, and you can tell us whatever you'd like to tell us. And we want to listen. We want to hear from you. So I got involved, and next thing you know, my name was on the ballot, and I won this position. And I'm very happy to say that since I got on the board, we are showing more transparency. One of the first things I did was I said, how can I approve payroll and vouchers? Millions of dollars that were spent weeks before I was elected. And I didn't know the protocol was everybody just says yes to it because it's been approved by all the department heads. And I said no, and I rocked the boat unexpectedly more than I thought. But within 2 weeks' time, by our next meeting, they had addressed that. That was on their agenda to address at some point. They addressed that, and suddenly we had a whole new payroll and voucher system that showed us more about what was going on, how our money was spent, what were these funds for, what kind of business was this. I believe we are a lot more resident-friendly. There's always room for more improvement in any way, and you are welcome to contact me at any time. Thank you for putting me in this position, and I would love to serve you another 4 years. Thank you.
Again, thank you for having me tonight. And as you've heard, there's been some concerns in the township as far as water rates. There's concerns with the township as far as budgets, monies being expenditures. And I'd just like to add that one thing I didn't really touch on is over my almost 30 years, if I can believe it or not, career in automotive, I've worked on budgets, budget reviews, and also reducing budgets, overtures, deficits as far as more so with my automotive, like I said, in automotive. So I have a bachelor's degree in business with a concentration in finance, which helps me given when it comes to that aspect of working with the budgets and things of that nature. And as well, just wanting to make sure that the township is diverse, bring some diversity to the township. As Val mentioned, I noticed that there is no diversity as far as police department, fire department, the board or what have you. So I'm interested in wanting to make sure that I represent and bring some diversity to the board, but also give the people the understanding that all of the departments need to look like the community and be a part of the community. We need people in the community to be more part of the community as not just taxpayers. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us here at this event. Responsible governance. It's about watching the money come in and go out, and are we documenting it appropriately? $15 million in additional reserves in water and sewer means we're definitely being charged too much, and that was over 3 years. We don't know what this year's results are. And it's not the only spot that we have those problems and issues. We have $15 million in our capital improvement fund, and yet the township tells us we don't have enough money. And that's on the side. You look at that fund and you look, where's the interest income coming off those funds? And there's nothing recorded in the most recent audit. Why? Where's the money actually going? Or was it even invested? These are the questions that I'll be asking during the board meetings. I've been very active doing public comment. I have several documents with me. If you'd like to hear a little bit more afterwards, I'll share the information with you. I also have one endorsement from David Buckley, who is a longtime trustee in the township, and I believe a friend of several members of the community. If you want to hear more about me and my background and who I am, please give him a call. I am an engineer. I have a master's in business administration and a concentration of finance. So I can look in and I'll ask the tough questions nobody's willing to ask. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to our candidates. Let's get another round of applause. And we're going to be taking a quick break, 5 minutes. We'll be back 7:25, inshallah. So feel free to just mingle, talk to the candidates, and yeah, we'll be back in 5, inshallah. All right, so we're going to be regrouping. We're going to be coming back, so if everybody can just make your way back to your seats, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you very much. If everyone can please take your seats. You'll have the opportunity to network a bit more later on in the program. We're going to have a few more of these breaks, so feel free to postpone the rest of your conversations until then. But for now, we're going to come back, and we're going to be moving on to our next race, which is the U.S. Congressional District.
All right, everyone, I'd like your attention, please. Can all of you take your chairs, take your seats back? Let's get this program started. We got to get on to the U.S. House race at this point. So we'd like to be on time. It's a pretty long program, and to be respectful to others, let's make sure we take our seats. And we're going to begin with the U.S. House race, District 11. So if all of you can take your chairs, especially those who are having conversations at the back, would be nice if you guys can come in. So folks, would you like to take a chair here?
And we also have room in the front if folks can't find a seat. We have some open seats available. All right, so we're going to move on to the U.S. Congress, District 11, which includes Bloomfield Hills, Bloomfield Township, West Bloomfield, Farmington Hills, Royal Oak, much of Oakland County, much of southern Oakland County. So most of us here probably are in the 11th District. Again, I'm going to ask folks if you could please quiet down.
If you can please, yeah.
I'll wait. Like a teacher. All right, thank you so much. So we're going to move on to the U.S. Congress District 11. I'm going to invite up Dr. Ahmed Ghanim, who is running in the Democratic primary. The other candidate was invited and was not, did not show up. So I'd like to invite up Dr. Ahmed.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you have a 2-minute opening statement, followed by 2 questions and a closing statement.
U.S. House is different, State House is different. Okay. So State House. We're doing State House right now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for coming here, and thank you for inviting me. I am your unlikely candidate. You don't see a candidate, someone with accent running for Congress every day. My name is Ahmed Ghanim, and you can tell from my accent that I was not born here. While most of you are Americans by birth, I am an American by choice. I immigrated here to this great country. This country has given me a lot, has given me everything, has given me the career, has given me the family, has given me 3 beautiful kids. And it's time for me to give back the country, to this country. And you would ask, why would someone like you run? And the answer is easy, because every one of us here understand what is happening in this country. You just need to watch the debate last night to understand how dangerous the past of this country. The healthcare is broken. Our immigration system is broken. We don't have affordable housing. It's very hard to buy a home. It's very hard even to rent. Families are suffering from inflation. Everything is going bad in this country. And for me, someone like me, who immigrated across the globe to come here and had the choice to live and raise a family in this country, I don't want this country to be like my home, where I came from. So this is why I'm running to be your next representative for Michigan 11. Thank you.
We have Charles Frangi also. He's not here. All right, then now you have the floor, so.
I will take their time then.
All right. Considering the significant Muslim population in Michigan, what specific policies will you advocate for to protect the civil rights and religious freedoms of Muslim Americans both in Michigan and nationally?
Yes, I think as a representative, I don't consider myself a Muslim candidate. I consider myself just a candidate that represent everyone in my district. Because my district has Muslims, has Jews, has Christians, has atheists, has people from all walks of life. I myself, as an immigrant, as a Muslim, as someone with accent, as someone, some people consider them outsider, is a testament to this diversity. So when I run, I'm running to represent every single one and not just one group. And this is so important. This is one of the reasons that actually I'm running for this office. It's proper representation. I came from a dictatorship, and people have this false narrative about dictatorship. They think that dictatorship were people on the streets walking with guns and there is no representations and there is no elected official. Actually, in dictatorship, they have elected officials. But the elected officials, they actually, their loyalty, they represent the dictator, not the people. And this is what's happening here in our district because of billions of dollars. Millions of dollars are poured here in our district in last cycle to buy politicians. So they don't represent you. And you think you live in a democracy? It does not represent you. You don't live in a democracy when this Congress has only 15% approval rate. Imagine the people that judge your budget, people that tell everyone what to do, they put the laws, and they dictate where your money, how your money will be spent, have only 15%